Hello and welcome to another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Lots of things popping. It's spring now in the Verde Valley. There's events happening. There's all kinds of groups you can get involved with. It's time to get outside. Maybe it's time to start getting crafty. Time to pay honor to our veterans. There's so much stuff happening always in the Verde Valley. Of course, we've got lots of great people on the show today. We're going to start our show today with veteran Mike Jacobsen and park manager Sheila Stubler from Fort Verde State Historic Park. Now there is an event, it's in its 7th year now. It's the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event. It's happening at the fort. And that's not just for the Vietnam vets, that's for any vet and their family to come and get appreciated for the work that they've done for our country. It's a wonderful event and it's happening very, very soon. So we're going to hear all about that from Sheila and Mike. Then we're going to meet with Gaudy and Shirley Albrecht. They're from the Verde Valley Weavers and Spinners Guild, which is a really interesting group. It's a diverse group of people of all ages that are into the fabric arts, you know, fabric and basket tapestry, weaving, yarn knitting, crocheting, dyeing, needle, hand felting, so much stuff, and they're here to encourage everyone that wants to get involved in that art and offer education through their meetings and their gatherings and things like that. So you're going to hear about that group if you didn't know. There's another group called the Skyliners Hiking Club. Did you know about these guys? They're out of Cottonwood. With us today we'll have Dave Beach and Jim Manning. They are hike leaders. This group has been around for over 18 years. Weekly hikes in Cottonwood between May and September, or September actually, it's September and May, not in the summer. But an amazing group of people for all ages. These hikes are conducted and they're just so much fun. They're going to be in the studio. Then we're going to go on location, courtesy of our friends at Cat and Verde Links, to Fort Verde State Historic Park because they are having a great event called History of the Soldier that's happening April 7th and 8th at the park. And you're going to get to explore and experience life as a soldier in the 1880s at the park like you could never imagine. We're going to go and talk to park rangers Brian Lane and Bob Erb. And very interesting. They're also reenactors. They're going to be dressed in correct clothing, talking about what they're going to be experiencing during the event. Really cool. Don't miss it. We're going to finish out our show today with a wonderful performance. Such a treat today. Anthony Flesch and Brian David. They're going to treat us to a performance of both native and silver flute along with guitar. It's rare to get a flautist in the studio, so I'm really excited to have those guys here and hear what they've got to say. So awesome. We're going to get started. With us today, we have Mike Jacobsen, who is one of the organizers for the Welcome Home Vietnam Vets event, and also the lovely and talented Sheila Stubler from Fort Verde State Historic Park, our park manager, our most beloved park manager. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you again, Joe.
Always great to have you both on the show. You're always so busy, both of you.
Well, thank you very much. We have to keep going at this point in our life. If we sit down, we won't get up.
As they say, you can grow moss.
But we would like everybody within the Verde Valley to come enjoy a very festive event. We're going to have food and hot dogs, hamburgers, all kinds of different things going on that are for family, veterans, non-veterans. We're going to have the motorcycle, different groups that are going to start out in Sedona, and they're going to be riding down through town and ending up at Fort Verde State Park. So in the end, everybody needs to meet at Fort Verde State Park. That's where it's happening.
It's happening on March 31st at the fort from 1 to 3.
Yeah. Correct.
Very good. And it's nice that you've got food. That's always nice. It's lunchtime, so hey.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll let Sheila go ahead and give you a little rundown as far as what she has planned.
Well, and as Mike mentioned, the first part of the event is the motorcycle ride, which is the honor ride that starts in Sedona. So the American Legion riders will be stationed at the Sedona Posse Grounds in Sedona, and then kickstands go up at 11:10, and then they start riding through Sedona. They'll come down through Cottonwood and make their way off the Mingus Connection down through Clarkdale. And then they'll come back through Cottonwood and make their way to Camp Verde, where they'll ride their bikes in at about 12:30 and make their grand entrance at the parade grounds. They'll do a ride around the parade ground, and then they'll park their bikes at the north end. And then once they park their bikes, then the honor guard does the procession, and the ceremony will start. And we have some wonderful entertainers that will be presenting. Sean Michael Perry will be singing his song, Brothers in Arms. We also have a very special guest that will be there, and he's also a Vietnam veteran, and he will be playing some special songs for us. And then we also have Terry Frankel, who's one of the Doublemint chewing gum gals that performed at the USO during Vietnam. And so she even has her accordion. She played a couple songs, and so she's going to come out there, and so it's very special. We're honored to have her there. And then we also have the group from last year that performed in Cottonwood. They used to be called the Mods. Now they are called the Well-Dressed Wolves. And
cool.
And they're just a fun group, and they did an excellent job performing last year. So it's a family-friendly event, and we just really want to make sure our veterans are all welcomed home and just show appreciation for everything that they've done for our country.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. By the way, Mike, thank you so much for your service.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I should have started out the program right then and there by thanking you for your service to our country. And one of the things that we talked about a little earlier was, though it's called the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Event, it's a welcome home for all veterans. Is that correct?
Yeah. And people, I don't know, you know, we're old, I don't know what they teach in history anymore as far as the kids go, but it's a great way for people to mingle with people that served in a very unpopular war. And the reason we do this Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans is because we weren't welcomed home. So after 50 years, we finally got welcome home. So, and, you know, that's basically why it all started, was to get everybody together, start a healing process so that the community and everybody else would understand by these events what took place and how, and try to bring the community together again, because it was a very destructive war on society here in America.
Absolutely. It's so wonderful that we have shifted our perspective on the Vietnam War.
And I will say, along with her special guest, was a Vietnam veteran, and I will just say he's very famous, and that's going to be a real treat.
That is going to be a real treat.
And a surprise treat.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did not want any recognition.
No, we can't
for it.
say who it is.
Can't say who it is.
You just have to show up.
The suspense, you just have to go to
That's
see who
right.
this incredibly famous Vietnam vet is that's going
Absolutely.
to be at the event, which is so exciting for you guys to have that. You know, in the little town of Camp Verde, what you're doing. And this is your 7th year, correct, Sheila?
Yeah, well, it started in Sedona with Ed Uzumescus, and basically he was the first one to put it on, and the idea is it travels from town to town. So Sedona did it the first year, and then after that it went to Cottonwood, and then it came to Camp Verde in 2014, and then it went to Clarkdale. And the idea is that it's a whole Verde Valley-wide event, and so with the whole communities, everybody's getting involved. We literally have a whole chair of, I don't know, probably about 20 people on the steering committee that have been meeting to plan things, from getting proclamations from each of the towns, and so each of Sedona, Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Jerome, different places, we've asked them all to do the proclamations, and then that gives the recognition to the event, you know, that it's a community-wide event. And then a lot of the towns, Cottonwood, Camp Verde, and Sedona, have pitched in significantly to provide funding so that we can do things like giving away the food and the hot dogs and hamburgers. But there's also a very special pin that we give out to everybody. And the pin is designed, I think we have a copy of it on the sheet of paper here.
It's a beautiful pin.
It's a pin kind of smaller than the little one I have right here, but each town designs their own pin, and so this is what our pin looks like for this year.
Oh, that's great.
And so what happens is that we get enough pins ordered, so that way when we're thanking veterans, Vietnam veterans, for their service, we can say on behalf of a grateful nation, we thank you for your service. And for some people, this is the only recognition that they've ever gotten, and some of them have never been welcomed home, like ever.
Yeah.
And so it's the gift that keeps on giving, because even after this event is done and gone, we still continue to give out those pins. Like I was telling Mike earlier this morning, we had a Vietnam veteran that came through and was never welcomed home. And to receive a pin and just somebody to say thank you for your service meant the world. So you see a lot of healing going on for all members of families by this event.
Yeah.
So.
And it gets very deep emotionally. It makes Sheila cry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too.
So one of the things too with the ride, you have to, because it's in Camp Verde this year, the American Legion Riders are the primary motorcycle group that is going to put this on this year.
Right.
But you have to realize that there's the combat veterans motorcycle group, there's a VFW motorcycle group, and all of the different posts are involved with that ride. It's just not one group.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely all encompassing. Great poster this year, by the way. You guys did a really great job with the poster.
Kudos to Nikki Miller. So she
Nikki
designed.
Miller, oh, Nikki's great. So it's happening on March 31st.
Yeah.
The ride starts in Sedona. Kickstand's up at 11:10. If you want to join the ride, do you just show up? Do you have to register?
And if you get there early, I think they're having breakfast there.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
the Marine Corps League is providing coffee and breakfast burritos.
Excellent. And then you make your way to Camp Verde, and the event at the fort starts at 1 and goes until 3 with all kinds of events for families. So if you're a loved one of a veteran, whether they are still with us or not, whether you're part of a family, whether you are a veteran or you're in that family of, you just want to appreciate, like I do, the veterans from any war or any occupation that we've done. This is a really great event to come and spread the appreciation, spread the love, and thank all of our servicemen and women, past, present, and future, for their service.
And it makes a big difference too. They really appreciate it, and it's nice to be recognized after that amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Sheila.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you guys coming in.
One of the questions we get too, Community Counts, is they have an online website if people want to donate for the event so that they can continue doing this event from year to year.
Okay.
And that's just Community Counts, the Welcome Home Vietnam Veteran event. So if they look that up online, they should find that. But we'll also be passing out information at the event so that people know.
Don't forget the American Legion Museum. While they're there, they can go to the fort. They can go over to the American Legion, which is only 2 blocks away. They can walk over and go through one of the best American Legion museums.
It's fantastic if you haven't seen it yet.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, don't go away, because we'll be right back with more of the experience.
Paul Stanley here with Stanley Steel Structures. We offer shade structures that provide style, value, and performance. Our Equinox louvered roof opens and closes to give you the ultimate patio experience. We also offer Alumawood shade covers that looks like wood but lasts like steel and never needs painting or maintenance. Visit us at StanleySteelStructures.com. Contact us today and be covered tomorrow. Stanley Steel Structures. Let us add some space to your place.
Nothing personalizes a home like paint, and JPS Paint Center is your paint pro. Featuring durable interior and exterior paints from Benjamin Moore. JPS Paint Center can help you find the perfect shade, and they're experts in color matching for any project, including their selection of automotive paints from standard to extravagant. JPS Paint Center. Find the perfect paint and all your paint supplies too on Main Street in Cottonwood.
Northern Arizona Mortgage Corporation is your local choice for personalized home loans, and they've been doing it since 1986. They help home buyers obtain FHA, VA, USDA guaranteed rural housing, and conventional loans. From start to finish, they offer a safe in-person application process with licensed loan originators. Contact Shirley White Collier at northernArizonaMortgage.com or call 634-4251. Visit their office, located at 707 East Dominguez, Suite 601, Cottonwood.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now sitting with 2 lovely ladies from the Verde Valley Weavers and Spinners Guild. We've got with us founding and original member, Betty Gaudy, and former president, Shirley Albrecht. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing props and all sorts of things. I love it. Right. I love it as we look at you like, oh, what a pretty vest, and oh, what a neat necklace, and oh, what neat earrings. And I'm sure you've made all these wonderful things.
One of our members did this. This is mine. I did this, and then you did your vest, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing that it encompasses so many different art forms of the textiles, where you've got, fabric, you've got, the weaving with the grass and the palm, and you've got, all kinds of neat stuff. So tell us, you've been around for quite a long time. How long have you been involved, Betty? That kind of starts us off on our history lesson.
Well, I started weaving in the state of Washington, but I wasn't much of a weaver. And they had a guild in Seattle, but you had to be juried in. So when I moved to Arizona, there were 2 weaving shops in Sedona, and I went to them and asked if they would help make a guild down here, and Mary Pendleton and I did it.
Excellent.
In 1973.
In 1970.
Was it 70?
So you're right,
1973.
1973.
How fantastic.
And Betty's still very active.
That's wonderful.
I try.
How long have you been involved, Shirley?
I joined, I think it was in 19, let's see, when was it? When I came, 2002, because I moved here in 2001.
Okay. Excellent. And you were the former president of, amongst other things, treasurer. We have a list of.
Right, and then right now I'm co-chair on the guild sale that we do every year. So I've been very active. It's a very good group. It's a very diverse group. We have both the loom weavers, the tapestry weavers, basket weavers, knitters, spinners. It's just, that's the fun thing about it. It's not just one group.
Right, there's a lot going on.
There is.
Now, how do you meet?
We meet once a month. It's the third Thursday of the month at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Sedona. It's on, we start at 9:30 with our little social. The program's at 10, and then we have our business meeting after that. And that's from September through June.
Okay, very good. Taking the summer months
Take
off.
the summer months off.
Seems
a
to
lot
be
of
a
people
theme
do.
today.
Yes.
Yeah. How many members do you think you have?
I think it's around 55, 57 members now.
Excellent. What does it take to be a member, Betty?
Show up.
Show up. Well, hey, that's a good one.
Pay your dues.
Well, there you go.
No, but you have to be interested in the activities that we do. And weaving was what it started out as, and spinners, and the people that were interested in dyeing what they had spun.
Right. Yeah, it's so interesting. All these sorts of things are coming back. I would say that they became kind of a lost art form for a little while, or at least less popular, and now we're seeing a resurgence of them. I'm seeing them in schools. I know my daughter's school does all kinds of weaving and hand felting and wool dyeing and things. It's wonderful. I never did any of that. We had those hook and loop rug things. That was the crafty thing we did.
That's true.
And paint by numbers. I mean, wow. This is really different. This is art, what you are doing here. This is art.
And the fun thing is with our guild sale, people can come in and see just the diversity of what we do. And then that brings in interest, and we get members from that as well. And so that's been really a good offshoot of that whole thing.
Excellent. When is that?
It's in October. I have to get my dates. October 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's at the Sedona United Methodist Church off of 179. It's the second year we've been down there. This is our 5th year that we've been doing it.
Wow.
And we usually have at least 35 of our members or 40 that will participate in the sale.
And if someone is possibly interested in the group and thinking about maybe becoming a member, can they pop into one of your meetings?
Oh, by all means.
Yes.
Yes. And in fact, if they can, we have a Facebook page. So if they want to know when and everything in the program, they can just look us up on Facebook. We also have an Instagram. So there's social media out there. We don't have a website, but we don't really need that.
Right. And if they want to contact you, they should give Jean Givler, the president, a call.
Yes. Yep. And actually, if they go online and research the Verde Valley Weavers and Spinners Guild, they'll have any number of things that'll come up with a telephone number on, and so does Facebook. But yeah, we always welcome calls. We welcome guests that come in and new members. And we really do. We have a very diverse group.
Yeah, nice age range too, because a lot of young folks are getting into this.
They are.
New resurgence kind of thing. And so, do you focus on one area, Shirley?
I'm a basket weaver. This is one of my pieces. I work with gourds, I work with raku and weave on the raku, and then I do traditional baskets as well, and I teach.
Oh,
Keeps me kind of busy.
And how about you, Benny? What's your favorite?
Oh my, I like them all.
You're well diversified.
Usually they're useful things.
Absolutely.
So recently I've gotten into weaving little pieces about so big, but they're big ones and I cut small, and they're Christmas cards.
Oh, how fun. What a great idea. You know, the ideas and the possibilities are endless when you have all these crafts at your disposal, and you can do so many things, whatever speaks to you. And it's wonderful to have a group where that's nurtured, where you're not just one thing, like we just crochet and that's all we do, and if you don't like crocheting, tough noogies. So it's wonderful to have this nice, open and welcoming environment.
Well, and our mission is just that, is to encourage and to educate in the arts and the hand woven things. And so in that respect, we have a show at the library in Sedona, September, and then we do a show in Clarkdale Library in January. And we also work with Rainbow Acres. We have volunteers that go out there and help with their weaving out there. And have been
nice.
Mary Pendleton actually started that, and our members have helped to continue it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you do demonstrations at the Sedona Museum.
Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah, that's really very cool. The Mondays at the museum, Sedona Heritage Museum on Jordan Road. I believe it's the third Monday.
Last Monday.
The fourth Monday of the
Yes.
month. You can see the Weavers and Spinners Guild there doing a demonstration of how things used to be back then. You guys are very active.
We are.
That's wonderful.
That's the fun part about it.
Yeah.
We love being out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for continuing your craft and welcoming new people into the group. I really think that's a wonderful thing for the area.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for
Very
that.
good.
Let's come.
Excellent. So check them out, the Verde Valley Spinners and Weavers Guild. There's lots of information for you on Facebook, on the internet. You can find lots of things. You can email them. You can give them a call if you've got any questions at all. Check them out Mondays at the museum. Check them out at their wonderful sales and all their events and their monthly meetings. I mean, you got to get involved with this. I know one of these things on this list is something that you'd love to do, so check it out. And don't go away, because we'll be right back with more of the experience.
Fabulous views and unmatched quality with efficiency in mind. Just announced, C&B Construction is the only contractor ever to win the EPA's coveted Indoor Air Plus Leaders Award 4 years in a row. These Energy Star certified homes provide unparalleled energy efficiency, comfort, durability, and indoor air quality. C&B Construction is currently building at Gray Fox Ridge and Crossroads at Mingus. C&B Construction, locally respected and nationally recognized.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gettles.
Building a home, remodeling, or need furniture for the holidays? Time to order is now. Amish Home Decor offers furniture for every room in your home in many different woods, stains, and styles. We even offer patio furniture and mattresses. If you don't see what you're looking for on the showroom floor, just ask. We buy from 100 different Amish families located at the corner of Glassford Hill and Highway 69 in Prescott Valley. Amish Home Decor is the place to buy tomorrow's antiques.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now sitting here with Dave Beach and Jim Manning, who are hike leaders for the Skyliners Hiking Club. Yes, there's a hiking club. Way too much fun. They meet every Saturday from September through May forever. You guys have been meeting forever.
Yes.
Well, for over 18 years. We've got that fact nailed down. It's at least that long. Could be longer.
Yeah, way before either of us started with them.
Well, there you go. Well, what a neat group. That's how many people show up on average a week, you think?
Oh, you know, it runs anywhere from 5 to 15.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a good
You never
group.
know how many are going to show
Well,
up.
that's a good group. How long have you been involved, Dave?
Since 2010.
Okay. Very, very, very good. Okay. And how about you? What do you
About
think,
the
Jim?
same. About the same. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
pretty close together.
Yeah.
We're the third generation since we've been here of leaders.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really great. Now, tell us who can join the hike?
Anyone.
Anyone.
Yeah, we've had kids hike with us. I think the oldest was in their early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, anybody.
It's very informal. No rules, really. No dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, no pets.
and no initiation fee or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a leader, and we usually have one person that's a sweep that stays in the rear, make sure everybody.
Great. Excellent. And the types of hikes that you do, how would you classify them? Challenging, not so challenging, not challenging at all? Does it vary?
Fairly challenging.
Moderate to challenging.
Moderate to challenging.
Excellent.
Yeah, we do a few that are relatively easy, but the majority of them are fairly challenging.
6 or 8 miles, and there's always elevation changes in Arizona.
Oh, good. Well, you can look at you guys and see that you're fit, so you're obviously doing good work here. And How does it work? Do we have to register? Do we have to become part of the club? We just show up?
What I do, anybody that calls, because we do have it in the Journal Extra every week, and they call me, and I have a Google group set up. I send them an invite that puts them on the list, and then I also will send them, if I've already sent the monthly schedule out, I'll go ahead and send them that. And then from then on, they'll get any emails that we send out, which usually are just the schedules. We don't send out very much. So they'll get the schedule every month. We have a lot of people that have been hiking with the club for years and then can no longer hike, but they still like getting the schedule and seeing that, so they're still on the list.
Very good. I bet it's a nice social group, Jim.
Yes, it is. You get to know the people, and
it's a lot of fun.
A lot of people keep coming, week after week, and they miss a week for one reason or another. But there's a core of maybe 15 people that come and go, and occasionally one of us can't make it, so the other one will lead the hike on that day, and it works out pretty well.
Very nice.
Yeah, we sit down and make the schedule for the following month, and then
well in advance.
Usually Jim and I do that.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it sounds like you're covering around 20 miles a month. So if you've been doing it since 2010.
Don't even go there.
Yeah, we put in some miles.
You put in a few. How many pairs of hiking boots do you
And
guys
then we
go
always
to?
try to do at least one either camp out or backpack trip each year also.
Really?
Yeah, we just did a backpack trip, 2 weeks ago, I think. There were 5 of us. There's not very many that do the backpack. There are a few more that'll do the camp out because you're camping near your vehicles.
Oh.
We did the Paria River. It's about 38 miles.
Wow.
5 days.
Wow.
It was awesome.
So once a year you have a big event that you do this.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do any fundraisers? Do you need funds for this kind of thing?
No, there's no money.
No.
We sell T-shirts. We let people buy T-shirts every year. We're getting ready to put an order in here very shortly.
Very nice. Very nice. So there's no dues to be part of the club.
No, that's what's nice about it. It's not as organized as some other hiking groups.
Yeah.
There you go. It's casual. It's Cottonwood. It's
Yeah,
casual.
that's right.
Very casual. Yeah.
Excellent. So where are you going to hike this week?
This hike we're doing Jaeger Canyon. It's on the other side of Mingus. It's about
Off
8
89A.
miles,
Yeah.
7 to 8 miles.
Wow.
That's quite a ways down the other side of it on 89A. It's a loop hike.
How do you pick your hikes?
Partly weather.
Yeah,
there
you go.
because it depends on where you want to be during the elevation
That's
change.
true, that's
during
true.
the seasons, what elevation. Use a lot of hikes that they've done in the past and maybe haven't done for 4 or 5 years.
That's what we run into more and more is we did this hike a long time ago. I remember it, I can lead it.
Yeah.
And if you have to, you go out and scout it out again a little bit ahead of time, make sure nothing's really changed. But between Dave and myself, we've done enough hikes that we can figure out what to do.
Wow, that's expert hiking guide.
So I don't know about,
How about that?
We get confused a little bit once in a while.
Well,
I just started leading last fall, and I found out very, very shortly after doing that you don't ever want to lead a hike you haven't already done, because you get out there and it's like, where do I go now? I'm not sure. So I always do a scouting hike
oh my gosh.
before you do.
So you've got to hike it twice.
So yeah, which is great.
There you go. Hey, it keeps you fit.
Well, and sometimes you'll call a couple of the guys and say, hey, you want to go? I'm going to go do this. And occasionally I'll do them alone, but most of the time.
I
A
get
little
it.
bit safer to do them with at least one other person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always safer to go on the buddy system, hence hiking with a club. I mean, it's really, if you're maybe a novice hiker, joining a group such as the Skyliners would be a really great thing to do.
Yeah.
One of the things I seem to like is we have almost as many women as men hike because they're comfortable with a group like that.
True.
And they get to know each other, and it works out pretty well.
Right. That is
Not
a
quite
really
as
good point, Jim.
intimidating.
That is true. Absolutely.
And the majority of the people that hike with us are, I would say, from 40 to in the 70s. We get a few below 40, but not very often.
Sure. Oh, understandable. Now, my understanding is you meet Saturday at 8 a.m. in the Safeway parking lot in Cottonwood?
We leave the parking lot at 8 a.m.
You leave the parking lot.
Yeah,
That's
we're
really
pretty good
point,
about doing that right on the dot. So, we're right out in front of Office Max out by the Cottonwood Street there. We'll park along that area.
So, there's plenty of parking there.
And we usually only have, depends upon the hike and how rough the roads are. I have a big van, so a lot of times we can all go in my van, or we'll have two, maybe. And sometimes somebody wants to drive because they're going to go somewhere else after.
Right.
So as long as there's plenty of parking at the trailhead, that's not a problem. So.
Oh, excellent. So we have the option of carpooling or driving ourselves if we want to, you know, take off from there. Well, that's really nice. And the carpooling is nice. So you don't have to worry about, I don't know how to get there, and can my car take the road, and all that stuff. It's all taken care of.
Yeah, and we can let them, you know, anybody that wants to drive, let them know, yeah, this is one you probably don't want to take that car on, or, yeah, you're fine, whatever.
Excellent. So hiking with friends.
Oh,
that's what it boils
down to. A big group of new friends.
It is. It is so much fun.
That's fantastic. What a great way to get involved in hiking if maybe you haven't done it before. Maybe you're a little concerned about your hiking skills. You want the buddy system, you know, hiking alone. And the only thing sounds like no dogs, no pets.
Yeah, no pets.
Yeah.
You know, they tend to scare wildlife, and because most of us are a little bit older, you know, a dog in and out of people.
Sure,
it
yeah,
can be,
of course, underfoot.
So.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's excellent. That's awesome. Dave, Jim, thank you for coming in and talking about this club.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. So we can check your schedule comes out in the Journal Extra every month. We can find that online. That's real easy, nice, easy schedule. We can give you a call, of course, with your phone number there, 593-9466. Give Dave a call there. There's no website because it's very casual, which is great. There's no fees. There's no dues. Be prepared to leave the parking lot by 8 a.m. Safeway in Cottonwood if you want to join in.
And the 8 a.m. is going to change. On April 1st, we start at 7.
It's because it gets warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. That sounds good to me. So bring water, have good shoes, dress appropriately, layers.
Snacks, something to eat.
Always bring snacks. Bring snacks for the hike leaders.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
If I was leading the hike, you'd have to bring me snacks. Chocolate! You'd be walking really fast through the canyon. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Really appreciate it. Check out the Skyliners Hiking Club. We'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
A1 Supreme Moving is your Verde Valley hometown movers. Trust your valuables to a family-owned and operated company with 31 years of moving experience. A1 Supreme Moving offers packing services. Fully licensed and bonded, your belongings are insured at full replacement value. Ask about teacher and vet discounts, as well as redecorating and holiday prep services. A1 Supreme Moving has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. For Supreme service, call A1 Supreme Moving at 634-0963.
We Organize You serves the entire Quad City area and the Verde Valley with custom cabinetry, including kitchen, garage, laundry, custom home office, and closet systems. Stop by their showroom in Chino Valley to see how they can make your home more convenient and valuable. It's time to get reorganized with We Organize You. For more information, go to weorganizearizona.com. That's weorganizearizona.com.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here at Fort Verde State Historic Park. I'm standing here with Park Ranger Brian Lane. You are looking fabulous today.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
I love the fort. You guys get to dress like this.
You bet.
Which is great. No boring green park uniforms here. You've got this one. Tell us about your ensemble, if you would, please.
So, basically, at the fort here, when they were on post, it would be the wool uniform, head to toe, basically. So this would be a sergeant major uniform. So with the yellow stripes, yellow piping and all, that signifies cavalry. If it was blue, it would be infantry. If it was red, it would be artillery.
Excellent. So. Well, that's great. And we're standing here in front of the display of the Army uniforms from the Indian Wars era, which is what the fort is all about. Now, you guys are having the History of the Soldier. That's happening April 7th and 8th. Tell us what happens there.
History of the Soldier, or HOTS as we call it, to give it kind of a sexier name, but still, History of the Soldier presents a living timeline of soldiers from the Revolutionary War through the nation's history.
Excellent. And this fort has amazing, we're in the museum now. The museum is amazing. It's come such a long way. Oh, yeah. You guys do such a great job. There's new displays every time we come in here. And you're doing a lot with the building now, too.
Right. So hopefully within the next few months, they'll be doing an Adobe reconstruction. So basically about 3/4 of the way around the building, they're going to be opening it up. Basically A, B, and C sections, 3 feet wide, do all the A sections, close them up, do the B section, do the C section. But years of moisture. has gotten in, and adobe, the bane of adobe, basically mud. When you get it wet, is not very good.
That's true. It turns back to its original form.
Exactly.
Mud. Wow. Yeah, I know that the building has been, changing its shape over the past few years, and you're getting that accomplished.
Cracks through the walls and things.
Yeah, that's great. Well, but I love that it's absolutely preserved. It's historic. You come here, you really feel it. You can feel the history. Everyone is dressed in appropriate attire. So April 7th and 8th, there's a lot going on. I know there's a ton of things happening. Of course, there's Dutch ovens. That's always my favorite. The cobbler, of course, the food. I'm all about the food. The historically accurate church ceremonies. I do appreciate that. Of course, there's flag ceremonies. There's a fashion show. Way too much fun. And a couple of presentations as well.
Yes. Marshall Trimble, state historian, will be here telling stories. And then Doug Hawking, I believe his name, author, very good about the history of the period and things like that. So we haven't had him here before, so it'd be interesting to see what he has to talk about and such.
Now, if we want to see the listing, the events calendar, where should we go? We can go online, can't we?
Right. So if you go to ArizonaStateParks.com and then see the listing for Fort Verde, click on that, and it'll show all the events.
Yeah, there's a lot going on during that day. It's a full day. Now, here's something cool. April 7th, Saturday, is free.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, Terry Frankel from Sedona. She used to be in the USO. She and her sister were USO double mint twins back then. But she has very kindly donated money for admissions for Saturday. So luckily this time we get to offer free admission on Saturday, which is always wonderful. Well,
thank you, Terry. We appreciate that. So free admission. And then on Sunday, the entry fee really is nominal anyway.
Right. So it's $7 for adults, and then kids from 7 to 13 is $4, and under 7 are free. So
excellent. Well, that's great. So don't miss the history of a soldier. We're going to have a little more history here because we're going to go talk to Bob Erb over there by the medical display. So Brian Lane, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate you, sir. We're going to go see Bob now.
You bet.
All right, we've come over into the Lincoln Room to hang out with Bob Erb, who's a park ranger for at least a little while longer before he retires.
Right.
And hospital steward, acting hospital steward here at the fort.
Yes.
That is excellent. That's a wonderful place to be, for sure.
Well, I have enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Your display is always amazing. I know we've talked to you a few times about what you've got going on. Over here, there's a beautiful display of surgical tools.
Right.
For general surgery and error removal, and of course the teeth. Oh, that part always creeps me out. Some of these things I haven't seen before. What would you call this collection here in front of us?
Well, this is more of the health and welfare of a soldier. The surgeon on the post, the hospital steward, the hospital matron, those that had to deal with the medical things here, they were also responsible for the health and safety of the soldiers. In other words, they wanted to make sure that the food was prepared right, that we had good food, that we had good vegetables being grown in the garden, that sort of thing. We even had a company cow so we could have fresh milk, but also the grooming. If you're going to be a soldier in the United States Army, you got to look good.
Absolutely.
And so they would make sure that every Saturday they cleaned themselves up, whether they needed it or not. But also many at this period of time, beards were quite popular, but they needed to be well groomed. You had to look good, and so they made sure that either they were clean shaven or they had a beard that they took care of them appropriately. But again, making sure that the living quarters were clean, that bedding was clean. But anyway, they knew that if they could keep the soldiers healthy. Good hygiene, that you were going to cut down on the amount of sickness you would have and that sort of thing too. So it was considered part of the job. It was very important, and just as much as really the surgery and being able to pull a tooth, etc. If you did a good job here with this sort of thing, you'd be doing less of that over there. So,
good point. This is like the preventative table.
You might say that, yes, the preventative table.
Of course, we've got food and soap and personal grooming items and medicines and things like that.
Right, yeah. And I mean, even down to, making sure that they did things like brush their teeth. The interesting thing about toothbrushes at that time, really, you look at it and say, yeah, not any difference than what we use today, but yet they were made out of bone and pig's bristle.
Pig bristle.
Pig bristle, and they used baking powder mixed with salt, and the salt was added for taste and abrasion to clean their teeth.
Nice.
And so really, all of the things that we think of as important today, they felt were important too.
That's true.
So,
that's true. And you look at the trend, now everybody's sporting beards again.
Right.
So
yeah,
see,
right,
175 years later, here we're still doing this.
Right.
Well, there's going to be all this wonderful stuff in History of the Soldier. You're going to come to the fort April 7th and 8th. Again, the 7th is free. Thank you, Terry. And you're going to check all this out. Of course, staff will be on hand, and they're wonderful reenactors in their period. Correct clothing will be here to answer questions. Lots of things going on that list. Go to azstateparks.com and then find Fort Verde, and you can find that. Of course, always looking for volunteers. Is that correct, Bob?
Always looking for volunteers. You never can have enough volunteers. And of course, you know, the more you have, the more appreciative you are, because there's just not enough paid people to do the job. And so when you look at all of the state parks and you look at the number of volunteers that really make everything happen, I mean, it's a vital role.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And then this fort is so well run between the volunteers and the staff. Everybody's always in a good mood here. So this would be a great place to volunteer.
It would be a wonderful place to volunteer.
Absolutely. So check that out when you come for History of the Soldier, April 7th and 8th. Come to Fort Verde State Historic Park. Check out azstateparks.gov. Bob, thank you for talking with us today.
Well, thank you.
And happy retirement.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride!
nice version of that song.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Anthony Flesch, everyone, along with Brian David. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
It's our pleasure.
What a nice combination.
Thank you. We always love flute and guitar. It is one of the great ones, I think.
Oh, my gosh. How long have you guys been collaborating together?
Maybe like 10 years?
Yeah. No way.
Together, yeah.
10 years since you were little kids. That's fantastic.
Not exactly.
Anthony, how long have you been in Sedona?
25 years.
25
I still
years.
talk funny, though. I can't help it.
Oh, that's okay. It's stuck in there. I know. And your flute playing is wonderful. There's a jazziness to the way that you play. Do you have any jazz flute background?
I do. Yeah, I like many people, I said there's only two kinds of music, good and bad. So I like jazz, rock, Latin, classical, whatever. Yeah. Of course, my two heroes are Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull and, of course, Ron Burgundy.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, we know all about him at this
the
station.
Jazz flute.
Absolutely. Jethro Tull. I can see that in you when you play, your body movements and a few things that you do. There's a snappiness to it, which is really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Something you don't often see in a flautist. They're very serious and they're very, but to see someone having fun with it is really awesome.
Oh, thanks.
So thank you. It's rare for us to have someone who plays the flute on the show, and you also do native flute as well. That's
very
also
different,
something.
much simpler. Obviously, you only got a native flute, you've only got about 6 notes, so you've got to make each one count.
I don't know, I think that's harder because you have to be really good at all 6 notes.
Right.
Wind instruments are the one instrument I cannot play, so I bow to you, sir, for your ability to do that. Yeah. And I just really love how it plays well into the Spanish-style guitar. Brian, it's really a nice thing that you do together. Where do you guys play?
Wherever we can get a gig, basically.
Okay.
Restaurants, it's at weddings, we do, whatever. It's great for background music, and when people want to listen, they can listen. And when they wanted to just go in the background, they can just have it be there. And
that's true.
So it's very versatile that way. And of course, Brian plays everything too, from rock and roll and jazz to classical and flamenco. So we work well in that way because we all like a wide range of eclectic music.
Which is a good thing for this area, for sure. We're really fortunate, I say this constantly, but we're really fortunate to have so much musical talent here in the Verde Valley. And not just like, yeah, you're good, but like, wow, you're so good. This is amazing. We have top-notch musicians down here. Yeah. And then you guys collaborate together, and you also do solo things. And you're a recording artist as well. You have some records out?
Some, just one actually at this point. It took me about 50 years to produce, but that's okay.
Must be really good.
Well, it's more the mellow ambient kind of. I have a copyright here.
I know why. In fact, you do. Check out sunwheelrecords.com. Look at that.
See.
You topped out the wall. I love that. Nobody's ever done that before. Sunwheelrecords.com, so we can pick this up. The Language of the Heart, ambient music for flute. How nice. That's really nice.
Thank you.
And very useful.
For
ambient
you,
music is, thank you. Oh, thank you. Is so very useful. I grew up listening to classical guitar and then all sorts of classical music. My mother was a big influence there. And it's always on to this day. Hi, Mom. It's always on. She just has it running all the time. So I have an appreciation for a very wide range.
This is like quality music, I guess you could say.
Oh, there we go.
Organic music.
That's good. That's what we need for sure. Now, as you're playing different places around town, what kind of following do you guys see that you have?
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay, so we're going to work on that.
Right. Well, it's there are not a lot of venues to play here, but we grateful for every gig we get, and a lot of different people from all over the world come and hear us, which is really gratifying. So you'll have somebody from Germany or France or whatever say, "Oh, that was great. Can I buy a CD?" So it's always nice that way.
Always have your CDs with you. That's like the number one thing for sure. And then weddings are such a huge business here. I can imagine you guys do a lot with weddings.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
We're coming into wedding season now.
Indeed.
So you must be gearing up and your book's getting full and all that stuff. It was hard to book you guys on the show. I know they're very busy because it was hard to get a date for you to have you here. So thank you for taking time out of your really busy schedule.
Thank you for having us. That's
Absolutely.
Great.
Do you have anything in the future that we can come see you at? Anything booked yet?
I don't have anything booked in the near future right now. It's been a slow time for me flute-wise, but Brian, what have you got coming up?
Well, mostly it's private events like at La Berge and those places, the resorts. You can hear me play at Cucina Rustica as a solo Spanish guitar. Well, this season, 5 nights a week, Thursday through Sunday. Every Thursday year round, I try and hold so that I can always tell people I'll always be there on Thursday nights.
Wow.
I'll be there tonight.
Well, there you go. Absolutely, yes.
Come on down.
There you go.
Well, great Italian food and great recipes.
There you go. Absolutely. And that's another thing about Sedona with the restaurants always having live music, and the wineries. You know, we've got that business going for us now. There's such a wonderful amount of venues. It's just getting the word out, getting your contact out.
Absolutely.
So if they want to contact you, Anthony, how should they do that? What's the best way?
Well, sunwheelrecords.com is my website, and Brian is
BrianDavidGuitarist.com.
Yeah.
Thank you for having easy ones. That's nice. And then, of course, there's a contact. We can click on that and, of course, find out, you know, what you're doing next and, of course, book you for a private event. I could definitely see that working out, or a wedding, or any sort. If I had a restaurant, you guys would be playing there every week, so for sure.
Thank you.
What was that song? Was so familiar, the first one you played?
Besame Mucho.
Yes.
It's an old school Mexican love song, which we love because it's got great structure, and you can, you know, it can be sweet and pretty, but you can jam out on it a little bit and get a little jazzy with it. So it's a wonderful song.
That's great. It was a really nice version.
Even the Beatles did a version of that.
Yes, they did. So you know it's a good song, right? What's the next one you're going to play?
We're just going to play some improvised Native American flute music, some kind of ambient mellow music to take the show out.
Gotta love that. It's our own special musical.
Exactly. In the moment.
In the moment with the native flute. I know that takes a few moments, and of course we have to do some tuning down as well, Brian. It takes a second for sure. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here and working your schedules out and getting together and bringing in the native flute and the silver flute too. It's just so rare. That is just a beautiful flute. I gotta love that. That's great. It's just, I love this area. So much good stuff. Thank you all very much for watching the Verde Valley Experience. As always, we really appreciate you tuning in, checking us out on Facebook, of course, verdevalleytv.com. You can check us out on our YouTube page. You can like us. You can watch the show over and over again. Of course, check these guys out for special events or weddings, perhaps. They sound great. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.